you hear the trumpets of Camelot? They are about to bring in something that made kings rise and knights fall silent. The roasted peacock in golden plumage, a dish unseen in any century after Arthur. In spring, their cries echoed through castle gardens. Peacocks were raised only at courts. Their meat was considered too proud for common folk. The bird was caught and plucked, yet its skin with feathers, the head and beak was removed whole, like a royal cloak. The body was stuffed with a mixture of dates, almonds, and spices worth more than gold. Saffron from distant Persia, ginger, cloves. For 2 hours, the bird turned slowly over coals until the meat became softer than butter. And then a marvel took place. The hot bird was dressed again in its own feathers. The tail was spread like a fan over a hidden frame. Camphor-soaked cotton was placed into the beak in the plumage and set ablaze. The peacock rose again in golden fire, a symbol of immortal glory and a knight's rebirth. They said, whoever tasted its meat that night would not meet death in the next battle. They said that Arthur himself ate peacock only before great campaigns, vowing to defend Camelot, while his heart burned as fiercely as that flame. The white stag comes not to the chosen king, but to test the one who seeks the crown. If the ruler's heart is unworthy, the beast does not flee. It surrenders, as if leading the hunter to judgment. The knights of the Round Table feared such a hunt. The capture of the white stag could mean not glory, but a sentence. They said that no battle skill could save a man if the stag came not for triumph, but for truth. At times the creature appeared right before the feast, as if choosing who would be judged first. The meat was soaked in burgundy wine, not for taste, but to reveal the truth like blood, which the king was unworthy of. Juniper cleansed lies. Cinnamon burned arrogance. Black pepper marked the price a king must pay. When the stag was roasted whole, they whispered, "The fire judges the ruler, not the meat." The sauce was meant to stain only the meat. But if the king was unworthy, the wine touched the white hide, and it darkened like coal. Then the gold on the hide became not power, but a mask of shame that could not be removed before the court. The stag was carried in silence. No one dared meet the king's eyes. All waited to see whether the curse would awaken. It was said, if the dish glows with dark flame, the throne is cursed. The king will sit, yet rule without blessing. Then the white stag becomes not a sacrifice, but an accuser. And the king does not eat the meat. He devours his own fate. They say that in Camelot, there existed a dish prepared only once in a century, the subtlety of Camelot, the living pie of kings. It was made for King Arthur himself, as if to test the glory of the Round Table. In the dim castle kitchens beneath stone arches, 10 of Britain's finest bakers kneaded dough from the finest wheat, butter, and yolks. They added the rarest saffron, so the crust would shine like gold worthy of a crown. From this dough, they shaped a massive castle with towers, battlements, and tiny windows. Its lower layers were filled with meat, fruits, and spices, venison, pork, raisins, dates, cinnamon, ginger, and cloves, stewed in a thick royal sauce. But the strangest thing lay within. Most of the castle remained hollow. Hidden platforms, wooden passages, and tiny doors were built inside it, like a real fortress. Only the bakers knew its secret. During the feast, as the knights sat silent beneath hundreds of candles, the castle pie was carried in by 12 squires. Its crust gleamed with saffron and gold, as if Arthur had ordered Camelot itself to be served. The king stood and touched the crust with his sword. They say the towers burst upward, and white doves flew out from within. They rose to the vaulted ceiling, like the souls of fallen heroes blessing the feast. Then masked musicians rose from hidden platforms and played a triumphant melody. Feathers drifted down like snow, knights raised their cups, and it seemed as though Merlin's magic had taken form in bread and meat. Since then it was said, whoever tasted the living pie would witness the truth of Camelot, where the sword serves not only in battle, but also at the feast.